I earned $140 last month, which made me so angry I wanted to smash my car. I work 11 hours a day and make $22. I drive for Didi online car hailing 10 hours a day, but no matter how hard I work, I never make more than $40.
跑了5、6年的网约车，
I
就是
have
在
been
今年
driving online car
年
hailing
底
for
跑
5 or
了。
6 years, and
我
today,
是从
my body
2018
finally
年的
gave up.
9
I
月份
started driving for an
开始
online
跑
car
网约
hailing
车的，
service in September
那时候刚
2018.
入这
When I
行，
first entered
虽
this
然单
business,
价不高，
although the
好歹
hourly
自己
rate
也
was
很
not
拼，
high, I worked very
每
hard
天
every
从
day
早
from
上
7
的7
a.m. to
点
9
钟
p.m.,
干到晚上
and
的
the
9点
income
钟
was
睡
at
觉，
least enough to live on.
收入还算可以
However,
的。
as the hourly rate
不
and
过随
numbers
着
of
后
orders
面每年的
continued to
单价越
decrease
来
over
越
the
低，
years,
订单
I
越
had
来
no
越
choice
少，
but to work from 7
后来不
a.m. to
得已
10 p.m.
从
or
7
11
点钟
p.m.
干到晚上的10点、11点。
The economy in mainland China continues to be sluggish. With high unemployment, many people have no choice but to change careers or become online car hailing drivers, which has made the industry increasingly competitive. China's WeChat public account DataGo reported in November that as of September this year, there were 7.399 million online ride hailing drivers in mainland China, equivalent to the population of a second tier city. Today, let's talk about the drivers' stories. Once upon a time, more than 10 hours of high intensity work could bring drivers a considerable income, but now it is difficult to achieve. To cope with the ever increasing cost of living, some drivers are using their cars as temporary homes. They live and sleep in their cars, and some cars start to smell. Some passengers are hit by a pungent smell when they open the car door. The smell of smoke and sweat is intertwined, making it highly unpleasant. Recently, an internet celebrity with over 1.5 million followers posted a video complaining about the strong smell of online taxis. He said, "I got into a smelly car. It was cold if I opened the window, but it smelled when I closed it. The smell of hair, leather shoes, gasoline, and the warm air all mixed together has made me feel like I would throw up." Thousands of comments below the video mention similar experiences from people taking the online car hailing services. One netizen complained, 7 out of 10 online car hailing rides are stinky. Once you get in the car, it is like you enter the driver's nest. You have to open the window and endure the cold wind all the time. According to a survey, nearly 30% of users are dissatisfied with the service of online car hailing drivers. Among them, those who are dissatisfied due to bad smells reach a majority at 16%.
我想请问呢，
I want to ask those drivers of stinky cars, those uncles, why don't they air the car? I went to get Chinese medicine today, and as soon as I got in the car, it was hot, stuffy, and smelly, and I knew I had won the lottery, but no matter, I can open the window. I wanted to open the window more, and I would close the window once the car started. As a result, as soon as I lowered the window, the brother, no, the grandpa began to say, "Why did you open it so wide? Don't you know I'm cold? Don't open it so wide. It's not summer." I said I would close it later. I said it smelled bad and that broke him down and he exploded. He said, "Some people just can't smell the good. It's so fragrant. The smell is so fragrant. Just now, a passenger came in and said my car smelled so good. I felt sick and angry. I said, I'm not a nice person and I don't smell the good, but my words were so harmless that it could not stop him. He went on, and it really pissed me off. I threw up as soon as I got home. Yes, I threw up."
我跟我妈都吐了。
A man recently took an online car hailing service to work, and it smelled really bad. He believes that since the drivers belong to the service industry, they should pay attention to hygiene.
这个车臭的原因可能
I think there are several possible reasons for the smell in cars. First, the driver has been driving for a long time and sometimes sleeps in the car at night. That may be why the smell can be very strong. Another reason is that many drivers have reported that some passengers also have body odor, a sweaty smell, or dirt on them, and this odor remains in the car. Some people also say that since it is a special offer or express car, there is no need to clean the car. Special offer cars are not like private cars, and this is the way it should be. First of all, I think there are reasons for both sides of the argument, but to a certain extent, online car hailing is in the service industry, and as a kind of service, it must be clean and tidy. Some drivers said that they are definitely responsible for the cleanliness. It's just that they don't have time to clean. It is reported that the online car service drivers work 14 to 15 hours a day. They often have to get up at 5 a.m., leave their home by 6 a.m. in order to take advantage of the morning rush hour to make more trips. The drivers continue working until 10 a.m., when they get some time to recharge their cars and eat. They resume at noon and continue to work until about 4 p.m. They then take a half-hour break and continue driving for another 5 hours. Master Sun, who is from the Northeast, has been in this industry in Beijing for many long years. He said that when he first started, there were many orders on top of the platform rewards. He would leave home at 7 a.m. and return home at 9 p.m. with a gross income of $120 or even $140 a day. Now, even when he leaves home at 6 a.m. and returns at midnight, he could only gross about $80 a day. Under such a high intensity workload, drivers not even guaranteed enough rest, let alone maintaining a hygienic environment in the car. At the same time, to keep their minds sharp, many online car hailing drivers rely on instant coffee, betel nuts, cigarettes, etc., which further worsens the smell in the car. A reporter once randomly interviewed 50 online car hailing drivers in Beijing and found that 7 used to be owners of now bankrupt small and medium sized businesses. 5 were unemployed white collar workers, and nearly half had a bachelor's degree or higher. This driver used to be a businessman. After his business failed, he became a driver for a ride hailing service. He has been in the industry for 3 months, driving and staying online for more than 10 hours a day, but has not yet made any money. He plans to give up and return the rented car. He says that only a small portion of drivers can make a good income, while most cannot. Only after he got into the business did he realize how difficult it is. Driving can lead one to encounter all kinds of situations, such as traffic jams, losing good orders, and encountering unreasonable customers.
遇到过不讲理的乘客吗？
Have you ever met an
概率
unreasonable
大不大？
passenger?
大，
Of
因
course.
为遇到
What
的
is the
次数呀，
likelihood?
也
Very
至少
high.
有10
How
个
many
情况
times a
是有
month
的。
do you experience
4
meeting these people?
大，你
At
下
least 10
雨天
times a
比咱
month.
大小区里
That's a
面
high
我
rate.
可以扛了一
On
200
rainy
米的
days,
树，
if an
你
order
10
is
米
delivered to
跟
the
这么
entrance of
多
a
更小
residential
的
area,
空调
I
的
may
或者
consider
小的开
delivering you
展性的，
inside.
还有
However,
成本
there
就
are
是
some
我们
residential
优惠
areas
的
where I
小费
cannot make
不
a U
占
turn,
道，
or I
然
cannot
后我
enter
当
because
然
the
的吃的
driveway is
进
too
你需
narrow.
要走过来。撑
There
到
are
10
passengers
米
who
和
set
不
up the
愿
pickup
走，他
location
跟
as
你
the main
说
street of the
不要
community,
来，我过
but
不
the
去，
car could not
没
enter
停
the
了
corridor
有
of the
取消
buildings.
或者
He
是
had to
投
walk
诉，
across,
真的是
but he did
很
not
气
want
愤，
to even walk
真
the
的
40
沟通
meters.
沟通不
He
了。他
said,
不愿意
I
取
can't
消，
get
让我
there.
们当个
If
钱，
you
不
can't
到
pick me
5 分
up,
钟我
I'll
们可以
cancel
取
or
消，这个
complain.
还判无
It
益。
was really weird.
所以
I couldn't
我真
persuade him,
的干
and he
真的
wasn't
很
willing to
憋屈。
cancel.
本
He
来
was
我
also
就是
wasting
一
my
个
time.
很好的
If
脾
we
气的
cancel
人，
from my
如
end
果就
5
这样的
minutes
时间
later
久
than the
了，真
pickup
的能不
time,
给你干到
drivers
10
will
米
be
的，
held
所以
responsible
对
for the
方干预
cancellation.
干预不了。
So I was
你
really
说那拿
frustrated.
招工8000或者
Even if
9000
you
一个
are
月，
a very
是有
patient
个别
person
人
by
岗位，
nature,
但是我
after
是
working
真
for a
的
long
现
time,
在干
you
不
can
了。就
still
是
be driven
我考虑
crazy.
着将
There
近
is no way
10
to
年，
persevere.
新买
People
电脑
say that
了，
you can
不
get a high
像我
income
这个
of a
月我
thousand
可
or
能不
even
入职，这个月
1400,
可能还
but there are
一
only a
千
few
多，
drivers who can
几
get
乎
that.
每
I
天都
really
是
tried my
10 个
best,
小时
but it
在
didn't
线。
work.
你有
I
单的
have
时
been
候，你
working
不
for
用
almost 3
10个
months,
小时，你
and I got
12个小时
700
都不
last
入。
month.
你没
I may
单的
have to
甚至
pay a fine of
20个小时，
$140
他一
this
样
month.
不入。我也想坚持，但是这个样这个行业实在没法坚持，及时止损。
He said that he wanted to persevere, to keep trying, but the market was unsustainable, so he had to stop in due time. This lady said she went to several cities 2 weeks ago and took a taxi in each city. One of the drivers made a deep impression on her. This driver was in his early 40s and had previously worked mainly in the export packaging business.
疫情以前，自有员工大概70多人，
Before the
算是一个
pandemic,
先
he
进
had
的、
about
一个
70
好的、很
employees.
健康的
It was
私人企
considered a
业了。
very healthy
然后
private
疫情
company
以
with a
后
very
呢，
good
熬
cash
了
flow.
7个月，
After
干不
the
下去
pandemic,
了，
he struggled
直
for
接
7
解
months and
散，
could not
注销
continue.
了企
He
业。
immediately
之
dissolved and
后入职
deregistered
以
the
后就
company.
做了饭
Later, he
店，然后
invested
做了150
$200,000 in
万，
a
7个月
restaurant
之
and
内败
lost all
光。
his money in
后边
7
琢
months.
磨了一下，
After thinking
得
about all
啥
these
也别
business
做了，
failures, he
开自用
decided to just
车
drive
了。
a taxi.
然后
He
他
has
有
2
2个
children,
孩
but
子，
he is
离
divorced
婚
and
了，
his
都已
ex-wife
签
got
字
their
了。
children.
他
He
现
now
在的
pays
每个
child
月的
support every
生活
month.
费。后
Later,
边
he
男主
married
正好
another
有个
woman.
小老婆
who is 16 years younger than him. They are very unhappy and fight every day. This older brother used to be considered a very capable person. He talked to me the entire time and said that he used to have 2 apartments in Shanghai, but now he has sold them all. He now rents an apartment. He also sold his 2 cars, a Q7 and a Land Rover. Now he drives a BYD Han as his DD car. It is not easy for middle-aged men to start over, but it is even harder for them to turn themselves around.
翻身更加难。
Driver Xiao Huang has been driving for an online car hailing service for 5 or 6 years. He says there is no routine to his days, which are arranged according to the order he receives. He now sleeps less and less, and his health is deteriorating.
这段时间发现身体越来越吃不消了。
During this period, I find it is too much for my body. I gained about 60 to 81 kilograms of weight, and my complexion became increasingly sickly. I went to the hospital for an examination, which cost $410. After the examination, I was found to have fatty liver, stomach problems, and lumbar strain. The doctor advised me to lose 20 pounds, stop smoking and drinking, eat regularly, and get enough sleep. Otherwise, I would be prone to sudden death.
保证充足的睡眠，不然容易发生猝死。
Xiao Huang reminded other drivers to ensure regular driving and sleeping hours, and to get some exercise when they are not working. Otherwise, they are basically working for the hospital. Since 2023, many cities have issued warnings about the online car hailing industry, cautioning people who want to enter the industry. For example, the Road Transport Management Service Center of Hefei City, Anhui Province, issued a risk warning, saying that from January to November 2024, the proportion of drivers with an average daily income of less than $40 was nearly 80%. The average daily order volume was 11.5, and the empty driving rate reached 45%. Currently, there are 130,000 drivers with online car hailing licenses and 70,000 vehicles with online car hailing transportation licenses in Tianjin. Some netizens commented, quote, "With so many people and cars, where will there be orders? Online car hailing drivers are experiencing the cold winter of the industry. Drivers are working longer hours than a few years ago, but earning less. Some drivers lament, 'We support the company and the platform, but we can't support our own families.'" This Beijing driver reminds drivers who want to go to Beijing that the situation in the capital is not better. Think carefully before you come, because it is more expensive for non-local drivers to live in Beijing, and it is more difficult to make money.
25公里1个小时就给了我57块钱。
I was driving 25 kilometers per hour and only got $8, which is only a quarter per kilometer. Now, the platform makes a 3.8% commission. This rate is not comparable to the previous one. Before I drove 25 kilometers per hour, I would get at least $9. Now it is worse, one less than last year. The online car hailing industry is really dying, and there are still a lot of people rushing into this industry, especially in Beijing. They all still want to come to Beijing to drive and make money. Even locals don't think that online car hailing is profitable, especially if you're not from here. When you come to Beijing, you need to rent a car, get a driver's license, and find a place to live. If you drive for one day, you will earn $82, but the cost will be $55. So the profit for one day is only 27. But how long is the working day? It's 14 hours, and you can only earn $82 with a profit of $27. For those of you who are thinking about becoming a Beijing taxi driver, you should think twice about whether it is worth it and how you can make money.
想想到底来北京跑值不值，到底能不能挣钱。
This is a new driver who worked nearly 10 hours on his first day but lost $2 instead.
大家好，我是一个网约车司机，我今天才加入这个网约车。
Hello everyone, I'm a ride-hailing driver and just started today. I'm in Haikou and this is my first day, so I haven't picked up any orders yet. I'll show you what a day is like for a ride-hailing driver and how much money you can make. I started driving at 2 p.m. It is now 11:38 p.m. I did 12 rides and made 25, among which $16 for the car rental, $4 for food, and $7 for charging. so I lost $2 for the day.
赔了20。
That's it for today. Please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share with your friends. See you next time.